That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Receivers, and this time he lost one and it's picked off.
And Brady and Moss hook up great football players, showing why they're great.
He's got it. 20, 10. He's got it. End zone. Touchdown Titans.
Good evening, sports fans, and how's everybody doing tonight? It's getting close to draft time. We're getting our rookies in line, getting our rookie drafts in line, getting our Devy players lined up. Everything's flowing. Wow, baseball's kicked off. We got, the hockey playoffs, and Lightning made it. Congratulations to them. It has been a crazy, crazy week in sports. Oh, my gosh. With the Tampa Bay media, I have been bouncing off the walls now that, the Tampa Bay Bucks have opened things back up to the media. We can get back in. We're talking to players, talking to coaches, and holy cow, what a crazy stuff going on. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting excited to do some drafting. I know that I've got some leagues that are already drafting, our rookie depleted leagues and our Devy leagues. And we're getting ready to do some startup dynasties. We've got some of our startup dynasties where we're getting ready to do our rookie drafts, and all the leagues that we've had are getting ready to get ready to do our rookie drafts. We have a couple of them the week of the NFL rookie draft. We got a lot of them happening in May and June. So busy, busy, busy. Rob is out, nerve herders. He checked in with me and said he was not feeling well, and he is out tonight. But Rob, if you're listening to the show, we're thinking about you, and we miss you being here. So we're going to go ahead and kick things off like we normally do and say hello to our sponsors. Want to thank Premier Properties, Steve and Nikki. Thanks for everything you guys are doing for us, and all the funds you throw into our operation. You made it possible for the folks to attend live in person to the rookie draft in Pittsburgh. We got two of our players that earned through points through one of our inner circle leagues, and some things that they did, contests we had in the DFS Advisor app. They won 2 free trips. 2 separate guys are on their way to the draft in Pittsburgh. I'll meet you guys up there. We're going to have a good time. We are actually going to attend the Dan Patrick show, so they don't know that yet, but that's what we are going to do. We're going to be live in person there. So that's going to be a good time. I want to say thanks to Norm at the Freaky Tiki. Norm, everything you're doing in Hernando Beach with, taking people out on the flats, taking people out into the Gulf of Mexico, showing them around, showing them the wildlife, partying out there. Thanks to Norm. Want to thank U-Haul Storage and Truck Rental for everything you're doing for us. J.R. Lewis, thank you. Ring Power Heavy Equipment Rentals, thank you guys for everything you're doing. You guys are really getting ready to take part in a lot of the contests we're doing between now and the start of the season. Going to be a lot of giveaways from Ring Power Heavy Equipment Rentals. They're going to be funding our contest in all of our inner circle leagues. So that's a big deal. That's a total prize package of $2,500 from now until the startup of the season. So that's a big deal. Brooksville Seafood. Want to thank you guys for coming on. Brand new seafood place in Brooksville, Florida. They offer, fresh seafood off the Gulf of Mexico, fresh fish, oysters, shrimp right here off the Gulf Coast. So thanks to you guys for everything you're doing. And again, Lisa, with our Tailgater Deluxe program with our charity, thanks for everything you're doing with that, and taking sports to the less fortunate, disabled, and hospice patients that we care to. So we got the sponsors all out of the way, and we're going to move on. Let me, while we wait, we hydrate. Hang on. Been a long day at the Furlan homestead today. I've been working around the house, had the day off today. So got a little bit done. If you guys don't know, for those of you that don't know, a lot of you do know, we lost everything in the hurricanes back with Helene a couple years ago. So I've been kind of doing a lot of inside upgrades of the house, if you will. So I've been building the wife this big water fountain inside our living room. I'll give you guys some pictures in the next couple weeks. But so, I've been pouring concrete. I've been waterproof and making this great big old water fountain pond inside our living room. You could probably put goldfish in it if you wanted to. We're not going to, but anyway. So yeah, that's what I've been doing today. I went to Michael's craft store today, Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, been just kind of playing around, had the day off. Boss called and said, hey, we're a little slow today. You mind taking the day off? I said, no, I'll stay home. I ain't scared. So took the day off, been working on the house, been having fun, catching up on a couple of the articles I've been doing for the Tampa Bay Bucks. I got another one I'm doing, going to one of the home playoff games for the Lightning, the hockey team. So I got another big story going on there with Radish and Hedman and putting together some stuff there. So a lot of those articles, guys, you can find on the DFS Advisor app. That's kind of where I do those. I do a little bit of it on iHeartRadio too, but the majority of the writing I do, you have to get off the DFS Advisor app. But so we're going to talk rookies in this segment tonight. Going to talk rookies. Oh, one other big thing I got to do real quick. I want a big shout out to Nick Wise. Nick Wise at WDAE radio in Tampa Bay. He's been down and out with COVID this last week. Made his return back to the show today. Nick, we've been thinking about you. You do such an awesome job down there with WDAE in everything you do with from all your your guys on air and the way you guys structure things from sports radio. It is second to none with what you guys do down there in Tampa Bay. So if any of you guys ever get a chance, look up 97 or 95.7 WDAE. They're on iHeartRadio also. You can catch them anywhere in the world off the iHeartRadio app. So if you don't have them on your app on a preset, get these guys on your app with a preset, especially if you're a Florida sports fan and you follow the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Tampa Bay Lightning, Tampa Bay Rays, the USF Bulls. These guys are great sportscasters. They are great sports broadcasters. They get the ins and the outs on all the local sports going on down here, and it's a great listen all day long. And I think Dan Patrick's show is also on there, like at 9 a.m. in the morning. You got in first thing in the morning on 95.7. You got Pat and Aaron's show with Sam Cohen producing the show, and then you got Dan Patrick like at 9 a.m. to noon, and then you got you got the Nick Wise show starting up at noon to 2, and then you get T. Crass and Chris Mathis from noon or from 2 to 4, 5, somewhere in there. Rock Riley's on there. Rock Riley been around Tampa Bay area doing sports for years, and so it's great shows. A lot of fun, and these guys are real cool dudes. So if you get a chance to listen to them on the iHeartRadio, you can catch them whether you live in Texas, Michigan, Hawaii. If you're out of the country, you can listen to these guys. So good times. Something that was announced this week with Travis Hunter at Jacksonville. I don't know if any of you guys followed any of this stuff. I don't know how much to put into this. They went on record as to saying he's going to be permanently playing defensive cornerback, and that he may play some gadget plays at wide receiver on offense. Now, a lot of us went out and picked up Travis Hunter last year. He got hurt, was out most of the season. But is it time to go ahead and get rid of him? Is it time to keep him? this is the NFL. It's not college. In college, he played both ways, basically never came off the football field. They kind of gave him a little taste of playing both sides of the football last year before he got hurt. I don't know how to really look at this. I think he's going to play defensive cornerback. I think Liam Cohen has kind of made the decision that this kid is a better cornerback than he is a wide receiver. He's more important to them on defense than he is on offense. And so, therefore, I'm going to try to get rid of all my shares of Travis Hunter. Yeah, he may pick up a touchdown here and there on offense, but unless it's an ADP league, I don't think I would be fielding him on a roster anymore. That's just my opinion. They have a lot to do at wide receiver. So, in that transition of Jacksonville getting stronger at the wide receiver position, he may still have somewhat of a play this year, but going forward, I truly do believe he's going to be a defensive player majority of the time. So who takes his place? I mean, who's going to pick up the snaps? Who's going to pick up the slack? And I really think Washington is going to be that guy. I mean, Washington coming out of Penn State, everybody had high hopes for him. He kind of didn't make a big splash in the NFL this year, last year with his coming out of Penn State. But I do think he has matured. I do think he is kind of a go-to guy for Trevor Lawrence, especially across the middle of the field. So if he's available on your waivers, which, he probably is in a lot of your redraft leagues, in your dynasty leagues, probably not so much, but this is a guy I would target. And we've talked a lot about the buy and sell and the trade. Guys, this is the time of year to really, really do your research and do some buying and selling and trading right now. I mean, do it now while some of these guys in these leagues are like, they're real high on some of these incoming rookies, so they're making spots on their roster to get rid of guys. You could probably pick Washington up for a good third-round pick. So right now, really go over your rosters and start looking at where some of these voids are in these rosters at some of these places, and try to buy, sell, and trade as much as you can right now. Now's the time to be doing that. Before some of your rookie drafts start, while your rookie drafts are starting, you got guys that don't have a whole lot of picks in a rookie draft, and they're like, oh, man, I want to be a part of this too. I want to make some trades. I want to get involved in drafting rookies, and they spent a lot of their draft stock, and they don't have any picks, and he's got Washington on his team. Go out and get Washington. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a good play for wide receiver at Jacksonville. So now's the time to buy, sell, and trade in your leagues. So don't be scared to get involved in doing some of that. I got an announcement. A buddy of mine came to me today. You guys know I'm involved in a lot of Debbie leagues, and a lot of them are not inner circle leagues. A lot of them are not leagues that I am commissioner in. But some of these leagues are quality Debbie leagues. And this guy right here in Saturdays to Sundays Debbie, he needs, I think, one more guy to fill an orphan and get prepared to keep targeted for the rookie draft and the Debbie college drafting. It's $100 league, guys, so it's not a cheap league. And from what I understand, this team that's available is a really, really good league, really, really good team. I'm not sure of the Debbie players that are on this team. He just got with me about an hour ago, said, hey, Jimmy, if you got time, plug this deal for me. I'm trying to get this filled so we can move on. So this is one of your better Debbie leagues. I am actually in this league. So if you get a chance, look up Saturdays to Sundays Debbie, or hit me up after the show, during the show, and I can send you the link. Like I said, it's a $100 spot. We'll get you paid for $27 and get you going. This is a quality Debbie league. If you're looking at getting into Debbie, this would be a league to do it. This commissioner's got his poop in a group. He runs pretty good, pretty tight ship. It's a very active league. So if you're interested in helping fill this orphan, send a shout out to me. I'll get you to the right people, and you can get with them. Of course, we do got our inner circle leagues. We got one more dynasty that's going to be kicking off this weekend. We're going to try to get everybody paid up and going. It's a 12-man dynasty. We're going to be drafting vets and rookies at the same time in this league. It's a startup dynasty. It's a $50 per year. You got to pay all 3 years up front. All inner circle leagues, you pay all 3 years up front, no matter if it's all our dynasties are pay the league fee up front, and all of our dynasties are $50 per year. So it's $150 to get in on a startup. So we do have one more kicking off this weekend. That's the Gold Inner Circle Dynasty. We do got our Diamond Dynasty, which has already started up and already did our vet draft. We have the rookie draft kicking off the night of the NFL draft, so we're excited for that. And we got a redraft league that is a brand new redraft, which is our last redraft we have available. It's a $25 inner circle league. We got 10 of 12 paid, 2 more to go. So look me up if you want to get into a redraft, single quarterback, standard rules, no TEP, straight up old school redraft. That'll be drafting all players, vets and rookies. That starts and kicks off the night of the rookie draft. Also, we got 10 of 12 paid, so 2 more to go on that. So get your $25 if you're into a cheap league. You can get into that. All right, so been doing a lot of depleted rookie drafts for my Devy leagues, right? So, you got a lot of these guys in these depleted drafts where it's not the high-end rookies that you would be accustomed to, like in a dynasty rookie draft, right? So I've kind of concentrated on looking at some of these second-tier, third-tier type wide receivers, running backs, to kind of give you guys an idea of some quality guys that are probably dart throws, or probably not going to start year one in the NFL, but are solid, good guys that had great years in college last year, are probably second, third round picks with your wide receivers and running backs, tight ends. And, excuse me, we talked a little bit about Stowers last week, the tight end out of Vanderbilt, which, guys, I think he's a great second round pick in the NFL draft. So somebody that's looking for a tight end in the NFL, Stowers, everybody knows Sadiq the Freak is probably going to go in the latter part of round 1, but Stowers is definitely a round 2 guy, and don't look for him to go in the lower part of round 2. He's going to go up top of round 2. So if you get a chance to get your hands on Stowers, get your hands on Stowers. Sadiq is in a lot of these depleted Devy drafts, which I was surprised. I, fortunately enough, in a couple of my Devies, I had picked him up because I'd been kind of eyeballing him and watching him. So that's kind of been cool. You want to take a little break? While you take a break, hydrate. So, anyways, Stowers is definitely my number 2 tight end. We talked a little bit about him last week. Want to talk a little bit about this guy right here. All right, so Deshaun Stribling, right? Wide receiver from Ole Miss. This guy's a big-bodied wide receiver, great X receiver, good with the over-the-shoulder catch, good downfield. He can play in the middle. He can play slot too. This guy is not in your top tier of wide receivers, but if you are in a depleted draft for a Devy league or your later rounds of a startup rookie draft, keep your eye on this guy. He's great value. He can start in the NFL. This guy can start in the NFL. Last year, let's see. Okay, he's 6'2", 210. He had 55 receptions last year, 811 yards and 6 TDs out of Ole Miss. He was definitely the number 1. After Harris left there last year, somebody had to step up. This kid did. He is a good wide receiver. Now, is he in the same category as Carnell Tate and, Lemon and, Boston and all these guys? I'll tell you what, I think he's I think he's as good as Boston is. This guy is NFL ready. So if you're a guy with some later round picks in your startup rookie drafts, keep your eye on Stribling. Good guy, good wide receiver, big bodied, everything, all his tests out have been great. So a good wide receiver to keep your eye on is Stribling. All right. So now, the running back thing, we all know Jeremiah Love is number one. And it just, according to all the big name guys, all the big mocks, it drops off drastically after that, they say. Well, we all know that running backs are not drafted real high these days in the NFL anyways. So, you get to looking at who's next. Okay, so you say Price, the teammate of Love. Is he actually the number 2 in this draft? I don't know, man. There's some guys in this draft that have very good qualities and are on the verge of starting, are great number 2s in a backfield in the NFL. Always look for the guys that have special team experience with kick returning, whether it be punt returning, kickoff returns, because they're going to kind of get the nod to get drafted prior to guys that don't. They're going to be kind of a leg up, if you will, on guys, running backs that are only just downhill runners or only change of pace backs or only pass catching backs. If they have a little bit of special teams behind them, it kind of gives an NFL team that extra nudge to go out and get them. So I always try to target running backs that have experience on special teams, at least to get them on the 53-man roster, to get them on the team, to get them looked at, to get them to know the offense, and then let them prove themselves. So always kind of look at that as you're doing your drafts. Always try to grab a running back that has a little bit of special teams. But I do want to talk about this guy, Hemby, who, between him and Black last year, okay, let's be real about it. These guys went to the national championship, okay? Hemby was the number 1 back in the backfield. However, Black was almost as comparable as Hemby. They were probably the best 1-2 tandem punch in college football last year. Was Roman Hemby and Black, the other guy that was comparable. I mean, let's face it. Okay, so Hemby, 6 foot, 208. This guy was a transfer, don't forget. He played most of his football at Maryland for the Terps. And last year had 230 carries, 1,120 yards, and 7 TDs rushing. He had 17 receptions for 165 yards and 0 touchdowns as a receiver. Okay, now he was considered the number 1. Now this guy's a good running back, guys. He could start in the NFL too. But a lot of people have him pegged to be a 3rd to a 5th round pick in the NFL draft. Now Black, on the other hand, which was his Keelan Black was basically the number 2 in Indiana, and he had 186 carries for 1,040 yards and 10 TDs rushing. I mean, he's 5'10", 211, so they're both pretty good-sized running backs. They both are solid. So, in any of your Devy leagues, if you're short on the running back side, these are 2 running backs that I would be trying to grab a hold of as soon as you can, because they are going to play in the NFL and they are going to get drafted in the NFL. So look for Hemby and Black both, who played for the Indiana Hoosiers last year. Look for them to make a splash in the draft. I wouldn't look to see Hemby probably go between 3rd and 5th. Black probably be going in the 5th to the 7th. Now, it could be the other way around, because there's a lot of people kind of high on Black and say, hey, he was the better running back out of the 2. But I still, based off the tape, I show Hemby better. All right, so now your slideshows are basically over. I didn't have a whole lot of time to get prepared tonight because I was busy working on the house. And so I can't use that excuse because everybody will say I was home all day and I could have gotten a man cave and done my thing here, but I was splashing around out here in my new Tampa Bay Buccaneers portable pool, right? Anyway, so I don't have a slide on these next couple guys, but quarterback out of North Dakota State. Anybody know who he is? Anybody got an idea? He has not been talked about. He has not been talked about on the big stage. But Cole Payton, 6'3", 233, big guy, big quarterback, very mobile quarterback, has all the traits, I think, out of college. I compare him to Josh Allen. I compare this guy to a Josh Allen. Great runner, great vision, big guy, will run through you, over you as a quarterback from a running standpoint. Last year he had 2,719 yards, 6 TDs, 4 interceptions. The guy had 162 completions out of 225 attempts, had a 72.0 completion rating. Okay. So the guy can throw the football. Great arm, big guy. I like this kid. And I honestly think that you're going to be surprised, especially someone that knows that their contract is running out in 2026 with their starting quarterback, somebody that wants to get a Josh Allen-esque type guy in-house and take a look, a team that wants a running quarterback when he needs to, a guy that can stand up in the pocket, a guy that can run the football and run over you, a guy that's great in the red zone. I am telling you, keep your eye on Cole Payton from North Dakota State. This guy is a winner. He is a great quarterback, and I am picking him up in every Devy league I can get him in. I'm picking him up in my third and fourth rounds of all my rookie drafts. Third round, third to fourth round. I'm not letting this guy get past too far, because I can tell you what, I take this guy before I take Simpson. I would take this guy before I take Simpson. In all reality, in this quarterback room, in this quarterback draft, I would take Cole Payton over Ty Simpson any day of the week. Guys, you know, these players that play for these small schools, they don't get a chance to show themselves, because everybody's watching the SEC, everybody's watching the Big Ten, everybody's watching all these big schools. And so, number one, they don't get recognized because nobody's watching them. Number two, everybody always says, well, their competition, they don't have the competition like in the Big Ten or in the SEC. I think that's all bullshit. Because you want to know something? These guys are all the same age. They're all human beings. And just because they don't play against somebody in the Big Ten, or they don't play against, okay, yeah, let's face it, they don't maybe sometimes see as much quality players if they're playing in some of these small schools, but it doesn't mean they're not NFL worthy. I mean, for crying out loud, a lot of our best NFL players have come from small schools. So when it comes down to it, don't shy away from these guys just because they're in a small school. Look at the tape. Put your own eyeballs on these players. Look at the tape. Look at the player. Watch what they do. Get your own gut feeling on what you think they are. Not what Mel Kiper says in his goddamn mock drafts. Daniel Jeremiah, what he says. Strager, what he says. There's a million mock drafts out there. Make your own mock draft. Make your own mock drafts and change them. You know, look through what you said 3 months ago after watching tape. Look at what you think after the combine and make your own determination. You can use all those other mocks as something to go by, but truly look at what qualities some of these players have and what you truly think in your own heart, what they are worth in the value. You can't look at sleeper ADP. When you're drafting, you might as well throw sleeper. At this time of year, take sleeper's ADP and don't even look at it, because it is nowhere near the truth. It's nowhere near reality, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? So if you have to, go do some cheap leagues and do some ADPs and look at where guys go, get a good feel for leagues. Use some of that information that you got as somewhat of a mock draft. You can't get anything out of just going and doing a sleeper mock draft. It's a waste of time. Okay, so truly do your homework and focus where you want to be, but don't be afraid for some of these guys coming from these small schools. Okay, so yeah, you look at some of the guys that came from North Dakota State: Carson Wentz, Trey Lance, Easton Stick. Okay, yes, Easton Stick's a great backup. Trey Lance has never really made it yet. Looked real good. Carson Wentz, yeah, he was a Super Bowl winner. Yes, he is still relevant in today's NFL. So there's proof that these guys get into the NFL. But keep your eye on Cole Payton. I think you will not be let down. All right, now so I'm going to go off script because I don't have any more notes. All right, so when it comes to getting ready for the NFL draft and it comes to getting ready to draft dynasty and redraft, how do you do it? Do you do it differently for dynasty than you do redraft? Do you do redrafts just to gamble, to make money, or do you do it for fun? Okay, big difference. Because in all reality, what I have found from a gambling standpoint, from a standpoint of being a fantasy football guy / big time gambler, you will make your most money on high end redrafts. Okay. You will make next best money on high end best ball. And then you will make your next money on your dynasties. Now, dynasties, as you well know, take way more time, way more of your quality time to put into it to build a dynasty league. So there's a lot more to dynasty, and we all know that. Now, are you the type of guy that likes to spend multiple $20 leagues just because you like to draft? Is your true addiction drafting? Or is your true addiction gambling? Or is your true addiction fantasy football? It took me a few years to figure that out. Okay? I'm talking like 5 to 6 years to figure that out. Because I am a drafting addict. I love to draft. If I don't have a draft going, I am like jonesing. I'm like, where's the needle? Because I love to draft. Throughout the years, I've kind of got a hold of myself. After having, I think my max was like 310 leagues. Okay. Last year at one time, I was in 310 fantasy football leagues. That is ridiculous. It's asinine. At least I was smart enough to start doing some best ball to where it didn't take my time. So that kind of got, if you're a big dynasty guy and you put a lot of time into your Sundays, getting your lineup set and da-da-da-da-da, best ball's your best friend because you can just put it on the shelf, put it away. Redraft, on the other hand, I always found my redraft leagues got kind of put to the side from an importance standpoint because I was more worried about my dynasty leagues because I knew I was going to be in them next year anyway. In my dynasty leagues, I knew that if I was kind of middle of the road, I always made them last for setting my lineups because if I missed it or I didn't have time for it, it didn't matter because they're just going to be gone next year anyway. But another mistake I made with that is I looked at it, and last year I actually made more money from a gambling standpoint in my redraft leagues. So redraft leagues, my suggestion is if you like redraft, play high stakes redraft. I'm not talking 25, 35, 45. I'm talking $50 and $150 to $200 redrafts. Okay? And put your time into it and play them. Draft sensibly. Dynasty leagues, I am probably doing startup dynasties because from a commissioner standpoint, it's so frustrating because a lot of these guys play dynasty like they're playing redraft, and they just don't give a shit. So you constantly, unless you know the guys you're playing with and you have high enough stakes and you make guys pay ahead enough in dynasty, see, like in Inner Circle, you pay all 3 years up front. I don't give a shit. I am not chasing orphans. I am not chasing money. I'm not doing replay. I'm not going to spend my whole offseason trying to replace orphans. I can't stand it. So I always do my dynasties where you pay all 3 years up front. And then after that, it's year as you go, year as you go, year as you go. But to do a startup dynasty, it's all 3 years. Trade away. You can trade every goddamn pick you got, and I don't care. And you don't have to come back next year because I don't give a shit. Because I got the money in the bank. So back to what I was talking about with redraft. If you are a true gambler and a true dynasty football player, redraft is where you can make your best money if you are a true guy that likes to sit back and really know what you're doing. Play high stakes redraft. Because then you don't have to worry about the next year. You don't have to worry about this or that. If you are truly an addict like I am and you love drafting and you love building football and you love college football and you love what's coming up next, dynasty is a place to be. And then if you want to take it a step further and be a real addict like I am, then play some dynasty debies. Dynasty Devy football is probably my biggest, funnest thing I get out of doing fantasy is Debbie's, because I love college football. I love watching kids come up out of high school. I love going to how many of you guys go to college football or high school football games today? How many of you guys follow high school football? Probably not very many. How many of you guys are true blue college football fanatics? Probably not that many. You probably start watching college football right around the playoff time. I get it. But I am a college football nut. I love following college football. So Devy leagues are something I really love to be involved in. And if you guys want to get into Devy and you don't know much about Devy leagues and you want to try a Devy league, now C22 leagues are different, okay, because the points for college football players are the same. You play college football roster over here and an NFL roster, and then you combine it for points to win. I don't do that. I don't do C2. You can have it. I'm not into it. But I am into Devy, to where you build a farm, high school football players, and they're back here in your farmland, and as they come up through, they stay on your team. That is my passion. So if any of you guys are interested in that, hit me up. It's going to get real busy this next week. Got the NFL draft coming up. Going to be traveling to Pittsburgh. Going to be doing a lot of stuff with that. I have Jimbo's top 50 mock available for you on DFS Advisor app. If you guys want to look at it, if you want anything to do with what I think, and you can see it there. Get a hold of me. I'll get you into it. I am going to do one more mock, probably next week, Wednesday, when I get on the ground in Pittsburgh. I'll probably do one more mock. Now let's talk a little bit about this Bain deal. Okay. Now I know a lot of you guys say, what's that got to do with fantasy football? I'm a big ADP guy. I play ADP. I'm a big NFL guy from a standpoint of, the needs of NFL teams. So I follow defensive players also a lot. Now, this car accident thing that happened back in 2024 or beyond, prior to, with Bain having a car wreck and someone being in the car, a woman that got killed, on and on, that surfaced this week. And then to come to find out, the stupid ass had another car wreck after that. Has his draft stock fallen because of it? Has it not? I think it has. Okay. So I do think Bain is going to fall in the draft from an ADP standpoint. If you are a Bain lover, a Bain follower, I do think he's going to fall a little bit. So I do think the number one defensive end in the draft from a draft standpoint will be Bailey. Okay. Bailey will be the number one DE. I even think the Jets might be coming off thinking about what they're going to do at number 2. Downs from Ohio State, I think is probably overall, other than Jeremiah Love, probably the best overall pick in the draft. So anyways, get ready for the draft. I don't know if any of you guys are going to draft parties, but they are having a big draft party down in Tampa Bay, St. Pete area. If you guys are, I'll get you some information on Saturday's show for that. For next week, going to be a big draft party down here in Florida. However, I'll be up in Pittsburgh. Won't be able to attend it. But get ready for your drafts, guys. Tape, look at these guys. Spend some time. Don't just sit back and just say, oh, what about this guy? What about that guy? Oh, I'll take this guy. If that's the point, you might as well, not be in Dynasty. Do redraft. So that you can just draft afterwards. But we do got some drafts coming up. We do got some leagues to fill. So if any of you guys are interested in Inner Circle leagues, hit me up. Again, listen to 95.7 WDAE out of Tampa Bay. Great sports station. These guys are for real. Don't miss the Nick Wise show at noon every day on that station. Nick Wise is probably one of the most – he's kind of a younger guy. I want to say probably in his early 30s. But this guy is real. He's fun. He don't give a shit about major politics of sports. He calls it how he sees it. He is great fun, says what he thinks. I love the guy, Nick Wise. Check out his show. It is really, really cool. And that's every day at noon to 2 on 95.7. All right, guys. I do have a Jimbo's Hot Take I'm going to do with you guys. It is going to be draft-oriented. I do think after everything I'm hearing in this year's draft, you guys all know how I feel about Sadiq the Freak. I do think Sadiq the Freak is going to go in the top 15. I do not think he will make it out of the top 15. In fact, I think he will either go 14 or 15, 14 to the Ravens or 15 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I would love to see the Buccaneers not take him in round 15 and take a defensive player and then take Stores in the second. But my Jimbo's hot take is that Sadiq the Freak, tight end, will go in the top 15. He will not make it past the 1.15. Sadiq the Freak goes in the first, tight end. So that is Jimbo's hot take for the draft. And outside of that, you guys have yourself a good week. We'll see you Saturday night at 7:30. And Rob, like I said, get better, buddy. We're looking forward to having you on the show. Big shout out to Bryce Whitsett. Thank you, Bryce, for everything you do for the show. You are a great help for everything we do from a technical standpoint. Appreciate your producing. Appreciate your fun. And we'll be looking forward to Jay Spade getting some time set around. He has committed to putting some of his time towards football once the season starts. So looking forward to that. Anybody else that wants to get involved, hit me up. You all know how to get a hold of me. Have fun in your leagues. Have fun with the NFL week. Y'all have fun. Jimbo's out.